Set to go on Essendon VFL Radio, and we've got Jamar to start back in the middle for the Bombers against King, and the big man jumped up and got a nice tap down. It was Wallace who won first hands on the footy. Merritt got it out to Coughlin, and straight away the Bombers have got the first clearance of the second term. He goes to half forward, but it's stolen away. That was terrific stuff by Hutchins for Casey. Comes down the line. He couldn't find a teammate as the scrambly ball continues to scramble out on that outer wing. Good stuff at ground level, but we're not going to have a clean possession. And Matty Dornoff is going to be the one to emerge with the footy tucked under the arm.
Yeah, a bit muddy, a bit chopped up that centre wicket area.
Yeah, Jamar's starting to now resemble of a man who's been in a mud pit, and he's going to stand up and get forced to get into another contest. Out of wing, early going second term here. Jamar got this one going Essendon's way, slipped through a couple of sets of hands. Oliver put his head over it and just body lined the footy, couldn't hold on to it though. It was well tackled, and the players converge. We might see a bit of this from Casey trying to lock it down. We've gone a minute in this second term. It's a 20-point advantage to Casey.
Yep, so slow going early stages. Jamar just had it taken out of his hands. The thing of no one being able to break clear. Now Long does. Sets Heppel a task. He just goes the barrel up towards centre half forward. McKernan couldn't quite complete the mark. Turlick's there. He's held up in the tackle to Garland. They work it across the ground. And now the Scorpions work from half back to half forward. Michael got hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Working around his body, Hewlett just pushes it towards the 50. They've got numbers here, the Scorpions. A kick across the ground is a dangerous one. No one can take the mark. It scorps to the fall of the ball. Newton got there first. Handball out wasn't great. But in the hands there of Coughlin, he couldn't quite control it. And now they'll go back in. Casey, a long high ball inside the 50. Newton there. Tackled by Long, shot the handball out. It's a dangerous footy though. They go backwards to go forwards. Mitchie, who kicks long and high, but there's going to be a free kick going back to the original contest where Mitchie was. It's going to be downfield
against Redmond.
So he had the kick smothered, or partially smothered anyway. Must have been dealt with as he took the kick. We were following the play a bit further on. Anyway, the ball has come all the way down to within goal-kicking range.
Shown a liking for any possibility of physical contact so far in his VFL career, has Mason Redmond.
He's a handy pickup for the Bombers. Certainly his last couple of weeks have been anything to go by, but Smith comes in, shot at goal, is terrible. Out of bounds on the full, 25 metres out. Never looked like it. Goodness me. No score yet in this second quarter. 4-8-32 plays 2 straight, 12-3 gone.
Very well called, Peter. Long ball, look at that with the wind. Got 70 metres, did it from the back pocket from Edwards. Here's Turlick, he goes backwards and the mark is taken. That was nice from Oscar McDonald under pressure from Comma, bearing down. There's players spreading on the far wing, he ignores that. Goes over the head of Redmond, that was a nicely weighted kick. And the mark is taken by hard-working Liam Hewlett, who's come up to the wing. He's going to bomb this long. He goes inside the 50. Plenty of players around it. Smith was one of them flying. Ditto Ashby came to ground. There's no clean possession for Ambrose, who tried to bullock his way through. Good tackling at ground level. And the umpire will be forced to come in and toss it up. That was good stuff from Dornoff. He's been at the bottom of the pack a couple of times so far in this second term. Jamar now with the roving duties on all fours. Knocked away from him. Neil Bullen out the back for Wallace. To Grimer. Left foot down the line. Free kick here. And it's going to go the way of Hutchins for the Casey Scorpions.
Yep, captain of the Casey Scorpions this season. Taking the number of Evan Penosa, who's gone up north. A kick long inside the 50. Well, Michael was the second player to fly. He almost came down with it. Couldn't complete the mark. Newton is there. He's wrapped up in the tackle. And the umpire will throw the ball up. And closely working with Heppel. Jamar got the tap out through the hands of Edwards. Dangerous footy, but Yesterdines gets on the end of it. Little handball over the top, not great. Edwards, long, they work it around. Wallace Well, the kick goes straight into Jack Trengove. He's in the wars at the moment. Players diving in. Dornoff is there at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will throw the ball up. Should also mention too, Leedsy, Will Ham's not playing today. He's injured. So it looks like Dornoff's going to be that player that just gets his head over the footy after every single contest. So the ball tossed up. King getting the tap down. It's tracking towards the line. Neil Bullen trying to keep it in. He can do so. Elvis Sarley is there as well for the Bombers. And the umpire will throw the ball up right next to the boundary line. And the interchange gates for Essendon. Elvis Sarley went without it. It's near that line, and we're going to have it thrown in. After all of that, 5.5 minutes gone. 4:32 plays 2 straight 12. That was the score at quarter time. An intriguing contest, this one, but Essendon, you feel, just need to get a little bit of a move on. Put some scoreboard pressure on with the breeze as Jamar gets the ball down. No one can get clear. And now the skipper, Coughlin, goes for a run. He kicks long and high. They fly. Man in front, Garland did well to pick that up. Handball across. The Scorpions away here. Scott gets his kick away. And up towards centre wing. On
the left, he's looking for and almost getting it to Kilty, who just almost got away from Grimer, but then Nathan said, no, that won't be happening. And he dragged him to ground.
Almost got away, definitely holding the ball.
Yep, correct. Out the back. The Bombers trying to defend resolutely here. Jamar through his hands, getting hard to handle the footy. Long just tracks his way through the half-back flank. That was nice. Sliced them open with his little right boot. Got it to Ambrose, gives the handball to Edwards under pressure. Needs to get rid of it. Has to kick backwards as he was being tackled. Turnover's on. Turnover again. Just as lucky as the first one was to be lost. Here's Wallace, Long, back to Wallace. Game's gone up here. Comes to Coglan at half back. Now some rare space. He goes to half forward. Not a good kick. Turnover.
Turley takes the mark. Terrible kick. That plays in space. That's a terrible kick too, because this is going into the path of Langford inside 50. Just need to pick it up. He couldn't do so. He paddles it forward. McKernan is there being harassed. Merritt too. He needs to go in and get the footy now. The umpire holds for a long time as the pack forms, and it'll be thrown up. It was just into the path there of Langford. Just needed to run onto it. Couldn't do so. McKernan in the ruck. Hutchings went without it. And Grimes, though, for Casey. The clearing kick up towards centre wing. They fly. Good mark taken by Paddy Ambrose.
Yeah.
He was a long way back, made up a lot of ground. And he took a good mark. Ambrose kicking inside the 50. No one can take the mark. McKernan just paddles towards the line. McDonald there under pressure. He's ridden into the ground. It's close to the boundary line and goes over. We'll have it thrown in. Jacob Thompson looking dangerous for the Bombers up forward.
Yeah, he's had an impact, hasn't he, every time he's played. And that strong body, so hard to shift off the footy. Toss back in, McKernan to do the ruck work, tried to take it out of midair, couldn't. Ball spilt to ground, and we're going to have a chance to do it all again. People who love the stoppage will have loved today's game so far. Spencer towards ground level. Grimes tried to take it out. Wallace just hacked it out of midair. It beat the pack, but unfortunately not enough. And it went through the middle, but it was touched on the way through. So the Bombers have their first blemish of the afternoon. They're 2-1-13, Casey 4-8-32.
Mitchie to bring the ball back in for Casey. He goes long and high outside the 50. Into the path there of Jamar, who created the spill. Wallace, ridden into the ground by Newton. He's going absolutely nowhere, and the umpire will throw the ball up on the paint of 50. So 32 plays 13. 9 minutes gone. Second term on Essendon VFL Radio. The ball falls to Neil Bullen, who got it back to Grimes, who off a step just puts a high kick in. No one can take the mark. Heppel first there. He's dragged to ground, managed to get the handball away temporarily. Heavy side there as well. And now Long, Neil Bullen, and also Heppel. The umpire calls a stop to that and throws the ball up. No one can get clear. Working hard there, Oliver. Lost a handle on it. It's really hard and tough stuff. The ball going absolutely nowhere quickly. And Mitch White there at the pack, bottom of the pack for the Scorpions. Ball will be thrown back up again. They'll just try and get some space, but every time a kick is attempted. It's smothered. Trengove getting his body in at the footy. I've had a couple of goes at it. Leeds, you get things moving for us, please, as we tick towards 10 minutes in this second quarter. 4-8-32 playing 2-1-13. Casey leading Essendon VFL Radio.
As we build up to the big one later on this afternoon against the Blues. This one goes inside the 50. Touched, no mark, and as a result everyone was happy to fist it over. They'll toss it in. 25 around from Essendon's point post. The old school end. 13-32 the Bombers trail. 10 gone now in this second term, and Casey have defended resolutely. It'll be McKernan this time against Spencer G. The wind got a hold of that, and it's going to be called to be tossed back in again. Hard work for the boundary umpires today. There's going to be plenty of balls need tossing in, and the wind is going to make it very difficult for them to hit the targets. We're set to go again. This is better. Spencer and McKernan. Gee, the wind's taken it again, though. Dragged it into the pocket. A chance around the corner from one step from Wallace across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Casey ball.
Garland to bring it back in. Goes short. Not 15. Neil Bullen again. Kicks outside the 50. Dangerous. Tracking towards the line, but they've still got the numbers. A good smother thrown in for the Bombers. And it'll be thrown in. That's probably a good result for Essendon. Just so they can reset.
They've played
Nice with the smother.
More of the game in their forward half, haven't they?
Blood rule for the Bombers here.
Yeah, just the left eyebrow for Michael.
And just holding that look of anguish where you put your hand up across your forehead to say, that's where I'm bleeding at the moment. Slowly trudges off. No any sort of hurry whatsoever, Sammy. He'll go and get that patched up. Meanwhile, play continues. Ball thrown back in. 60 around from the Bombers' goal. Bit of push and shove going on there too. It's heading towards the line. Might have come off a boot. It did.
Yep.
That's a little bit unlucky. It was Comer, I think, the boot.
Yep.
So it'll be a turnover. And so the discussion here. 2 field umpires. The boundary umpire comes in. It looked to me to come off the boot. The discussion here, they're going to work it out. Maybe a bit of indecision.
First call was the right one, Pete.
And I think that's what they're going to stick with. Yep, that's right. I'm just looking at the umps advisors over there, just writing some notes saying, good call, boys. It did appear to me to be off a boot as it went over. Accidentally, of course. So, ball spills free here. King working for Casey. Just slid the handball out to Munro, who kicks up towards centre half forward. Heppel the first to arrive for the Bombers. His kick partially smothered by Newton, and they get another chance here. Oliver, handball over the top, looking for Wilson. He was taken high, and he'll have a free kick. He's 60 from goal. Wants to go on with it quickly. Not too many things coming Leeds-wise, so he just goes long, and it's dropped in short. El Masali, the 23rd player for Essendon, takes the mark.
It was a neat mark, standing underneath it. Pressure bearing down from Trengove. He goes with a long ball outside. This time it's not going to be marked, but Turlick's good enough to mop it up. Got it away. They go inside the 50 through Mitchie. McKernan couldn't quite hold on to it. He butters up at ground level, got it to Grimer. Brushes one tackle off, but then had his handball smothered. He goes again, does none. He tosses his man into the turf, and they will toss it up. 45 out from Casey's goal. Napier Street end. McKernan knocks it forward 40 metres. They'd love a mark here in the middle. They don't get one, but they do get a free kick, and now they might be off to the races. Heeds, is he going to take the advantage? He did, but there was none there, and that is well umpired, because he just let it play out, but there was nothing happening. And the ball comes back to the middle of the ground.
Just seeing the notes being written there. Yep. They put a smiley face next to that one.
May not be what the correct umpiring is, but I thought it was well umpired. It comes to the wing where Ashby was taken, had his arms taken in the contest. He goes inside the 50 now. The Bombers a chance. Jamer!
Nope.
Garland in front, paid the mark. He tried to do it again, Jamer. But this time, Cole, he was wise to the tricks, and he took it away and said, no, this is mine.
The teammates know each other so well as Garland Long ball outside the 50. Falls to the back. The fist coming in from Grimer, but going absolutely nowhere. This ball on the deck. And Dornoff laying the tackle. The umpire will throw the ball up.
Cole's just giving his head a bit of a rub. I think Jamar might have given him a friendly elbow as he was marking that last ball.
Good push out there from McKernan. He picked it up and just kicked it. Not the required 15. The ball ends up with Hewlett playing some sort of game for the Scorpions. He's on centre wing. As he kicks up towards half forward. Oh, that ball holds up amazingly in the breeze. That was extraordinary. Jack Trengove read it best. He took the mark. Half forward for Casey. His kick inside the 50. Got to be aware that this is going to hold up in the breeze too. So the pack coming forward. Eads gets there for the Bombers. His kick in the middle of the ground. That was too slick for Redmond. He actually slipped over at the crucial moment. Turlick there to mop up for the Scorpions. To Garland. Kick across the ground. No good. Turnover. Here's Edwards, who's got the mark for the Bombers. 15 and a half minutes gone. It's been a low-scoring quarter. He's kicking short, finds Eads in the middle of Windy Hill. He puts a long ball inside the 50. They fly from all directions. Ball to the back. No one can get there for the Bombers. McDonald, he just handballed it straight to his opponent. The ball went over the line and we'll have it thrown in. Goodness me. That was a bit of a skill error there. They want to get stuck in as well, but it's deep into the Bombers' attacking zone. 32 plays 13, 16 minutes gone, second term.
Time to get a wriggle on, Bombers, as Patterson wins the stoppage. He can't get much distance with the kick into the breeze, but that shows that Essendon need to get going. 16 minutes in this second term have elapsed, and they're yet to register a major. So it's 4-8-32 to 2-1-13. 16 and a half gone. Ball to be tossed back in where the arc meets the boundary line in front of the Croquet Club. Coughlin tried to bust his way through. Nothing doing. And we'll toss it up again. Just repeating that Brayshaw was taken from the ground after he thought might have been concussion from a very heavy Falcon. Out the back here, Willis. Long ball, Ashby. This is high. One for the high flyers. They couldn't get hands on it. Wallace, it goes through his hands. And I fancy this footy is getting harder as it gets heavier to handle. And they'll toss it in again. Gee, I don't envy this boundary umpire. I'd say get to the front here, boys.
Yes.
He's throwing right into the teeth of the breeze. Did well. And now we're only 5 metres in, as that was neat stuff at ground level from Casey's defence. Little handball might have been one too many though. Willis goes to work. Good tackling on Trengove. Ball not emerging. Umpire's going to be forced to come in and toss it up. 17 and a half gone. Bombers in this second term looking to get going. Casey have been very good, it must be said, into it. Wallace got a hold of Trengove, but not preventing the handball. It goes down the line. Big fly here from Grimer, who had the sit. Now, what can he do with the ball? He's got the breeze behind his back. He decides to just use it and get it inside the 50. No real target in the end. Eads did well to spoil. Oscar McDonald got through traffic, gave the handball away. Newton, ditto, sold his man into trouble. Eads lays a good tackle. They want holding the ball. Nothing doing. Comer couldn't hold onto the footy. He gets some support. McNeese taken high. And finally, the Bombers will have the shot. He's 55 out here, Ben McNeese, but with the breeze behind him, the distance should not be an issue.
It hasn't stopped them getting back, though, on the goal line.
For their third of the afternoon, he gets it into the vortex, and that is a magnificent use of the breeze. McNeese, the man to break the deadlock. He gets his first of the afternoon. Essendon's third. They're 3-1-19. And they're trailing Casey 4-2-32. 19 gone in this second term.
4-8-32. Still on there as the attendant just walked right in your eye line there, Leedsy. 19 gone in this second quarter. But that was efficient. I mean, it came from the free kick, admittedly, but they're starting to lock the ball in.
And good from Grimer. They've been able to play a lot of the footy in their forward half.
So we go back to the middle again. Wallace, good work from the ruck contest. El Musali shot the handball out to the path of Merritt, who has time to pick up and then just dribbles the ball towards the 50. Off the chest there of Patterson. Newton comes in for Casey. He's handball across for Stretch. They're just working backwards. They're retreating ground. Spencer, handball back stretch. He kicks across the ground now. It's a dangerous footy, 2-on-1. Oh, did well. That's Mishi who took the mark. He kicks up the line. The kick is okay. Kilty right on centre wing. Grandstand side of Windy Hill. He's got no one to kick to, though. He looks up and sees plenty of Bombers just assembling around the Casey 50. That's exactly where he goes, and that's exactly the result that comes up. Grimer takes the mark, uncontested. He didn't have to do all that much. He's called to play on, and so Grimer goes into the middle of the ground. That is an excellent kick. And the Bombers build again. The kick across the ground is okay. Players in space. This is Langford, who kicks in towards 50. That's an excellent kick. Oh, great movement of the footy by the Bombers. Breeze or no breeze, and Redmond gets on the end of it, and he'll line up and have a shot 25 metres out.
Hats off to Nathan Grimer. Not only did he take the mark, but his kick was ambitious and absolutely perfect. Just opened up the whole ground for Essendon.
He wants to get back into that AFL side, doesn't he?
Yep.
Mason Redmond steps in. Real find for the Bombers this season. Comes in now. Kick trying to bring it back. Not enough. 3-2-20. Plays 4-8-32. 21 minutes gone in the second quarter. There's Hutchins to bring the ball back in.
Just about had that pegged to go through. Did everything right, Redmond. Just missed to the right-hand side. Casey bringing it out methodically, slowly on the outer side of the ground. It is hard work kicking out from the school end, and this one's going high, which means it'll fall short. Kilty's the first man to read that, but he couldn't hold on to it. Ashby receives the handball and then goes back to McNeese. Oh, dodgy little ball for Jamar. He picked it up and handballed it, but couldn't find anyone. And the umpire's not going to find a free kick here. Hewlett, though he had some prior opportunity, was given the opportunity to go and do some ruck work now. And it's going to be Spencer, who's third man in. He got it down. Ashby has to go back with the flight. Couldn't take the mark. It spills to ground level as Ambrose gets it going through the middle of Windy Hill. Oh, good stuff. Patterson picked it up in the middle of the ground. Drives it long, but Grimer again stands tall in the right part of the ground and just read it magnificently.